We've got some breaking news out of the NFL where the Browns have signed Shedeur Sanders to his rookie deal. Our NFL insider Jonathan Jones reporting that it's a 4-year, $4.6 million deal. So Cleveland, if you remember, selected Shedeur in the 5th round of this year's draft with the 144th overall pick. He joins a pretty crowded quarterback room there in Cleveland that also includes Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel, and, of course, Deshaun Watson. So let's welcome on our lead NFL insider, Jonathan Jones, here to discuss a lot going on there in Cleveland, JJ, where OTAs are about to get underway. Shedeur signs that rookie deal, and now there's, 5 quarterbacks in that room on their roster. So what can you tell us about the latest of said quarterback room in Cleveland?
You know, I think we do first have to just address this off the top, that this is probably the first 5th-round rookie that we've come in with a breaking news saying that they signed their slotted rookie deal. But that's who Shedeur Sanders is, right? That is the fantastic personality that he is, and that's what made this draft pick all the more interesting. Of course, also is interesting because he was drafted 2 rounds after the Browns took Dillon Gabriel. Look, we talked about those 5 quarterbacks. Well, let's go ahead and put one off to the side. Deshaun Watson. He is very likely going to start the season on the physically unable to perform list. I have my doubts about whether he'll be able to play at all in the 2025 season. And in fact, many people I speak with believe he's probably played his last snap as a member of the Cleveland Browns. So that leaves you with 4 quarterbacks. It's the veteran Joe Flacco. It's Kenny Pickett that the Browns acquired for a 5th-round selection. And then it's the 2 rookies in Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. I believe that seeing the first-team reps, they're probably going to switch off between Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. That's what they've been doing so far. The veteran Joe Flacco probably taking a couple of days off here and there just because, well, it's May and you can. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders should be taking every opportunity to take every single rep as they can. I mean, no days off for the rookies as they battle it out. And one day, one guy will get the number 3 team reps. The next day, the other guy will. And look, the further down you go down the depth chart, the more these practices turn from just jerseys and shirts and shorts to pads and helmets and really intense practices. The fewer team reps these guys are going to be allowed to get. So every rep, once you get into July, into August, is going to be incredibly important. But for right now, both of these guys, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, they're getting the feel of things. And then when we start to see these joint practices, these preseason games, and real team drills, the Browns offense going up against the Browns first-team defense, the quarterback competition is very much going to reveal itself. And lastly, I'll just say this. I highly doubt that the Browns are going to have 4 quarterbacks on their roster, their 53-man roster, once Week 1 gets here. I don't think they're going to cut Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders or risk them potentially being poached off the practice squad. And so that means what happens with a Kenny Pickett or a Joe Flacco? One of them may get traded, maybe a quarterback-needy team out there who would use a veteran. So we'll see how things wind up shaking out. It'll be up to these guys and how they perform on the field this summer to see who stays in Cleveland.
So, JJ, I know you're just talking about the 4 other quarterbacks and their future and what that could look like. But what about Deshaun Watson? Because, as mentioned, set to miss the entire 2025 season because of that Achilles tear. What do you think the future looks like for him beyond that?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, right? First of all, it's all about his health. Very rarely do we see in the NFL someone tear their Achilles during recovery from a previous Achilles tear. And he's also had other injury concerns, that sort of mysterious back/shoulder injury that derailed part of his 2023 campaign. And so you've had a slip in play ever since his final season in Houston. You've had a number of injuries, significant injuries that have mounted. You have obviously the trade for, the acquisition of, and the contract to Deshaun Watson that has been panned publicly over the years. And lastly, of course, the couple dozen allegations of sexual misconduct that he was never charged with. Grand juries declined to indict him. Ultimately, will a team, if and when the Browns do part ways with Deshaun Watson after the 2025 season, will a team be willing to take him on? All of those questions will have to be answered by a team, or will we have seen the last of Deshaun Watson in the NFL? Certainly, he is working hard to get himself back into shape. We see the videos that he's been putting out there. But again, while nothing's certain, it does not feel as though he's going to be able to play for the Browns in 2025.
JJ, we certainly appreciate it. Talking about the Browns quarterback room and, of course, as it pertains to Shedeur Sanders signing that rookie deal. Here's the Browns schedule that kick things off with the Battle of Ohio against the Bengals. In Week 1, they get another AFC North opponent in the Ravens. In Week 2, followed by the Packers, Lions, and then over across the pond.
Organized team activities this week, giving us the first glimpse of on-field 90-man roster. Dallas has been pretty busy this offseason, as we know. They traded for a starting wide receiver and George Pickens, the starting linebacker, Kenneth Murray Jr. They also added a number of free agents as well, before also filling some holes on draft night. Now, the Cowboys aren't the only organization that has some OTAs this week. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Las Vegas Raiders, New England Patriots, and New York Jets also have OTAs going on as well. All week long, we will cover the teams with OTAs underway, but today we begin with the latest out of the Dallas Cowboys organization as we say hello to our own Bryant McFadden for more. BMAC, great to see you. I just mentioned that the Cowboys were very busy this offseason. They made some trades, picking up some free agents before, of course, drafting a very big need up front, picking up Tyler Booker. But will he be enough, you think, to solidify the O-line for Dallas?
In the interior, no question, especially moving on from Zach Martin, future Hall of Famer. The interior of the offensive line has to be consistent. It has to be very, very stout, because you're in a division where you're seeing Daron Payne twice a year, when you're seeing Jalen Carter twice a year, when you're seeing Dexter Lawrence twice a year, three of the more impressive interior defensive linemen in the National Football League. You want to make sure your guards are stout and can do the job. Tyler Smith did a real good job last year. One would think Tyler Booker can provide the same production as well, especially knowing you have a healthy Dak Prescott back in the lineup.
Okay, so there's no doubt from your mind, but Tyler Booker, with him kind of plugged in up front, you got George Pickens now opposite of CeeDee Lamb out wide. In your opinion, does Dak have the support to kind of flirt with the playoffs again this season?
Oh, no question, no question. I think the issue for the Cowboys a year ago, offensive line-wise, was more so about the tackles. But hopefully they can be more consistent in that element, along with the added playmaker that you mentioned in George Pickens. This offense has an opportunity to be very, very productive and explosive when you're looking at having two wide receiver ones in the huddle. But all of that means nothing if your star quarterback isn't healthy. We saw without Dak Prescott what the offense looked. It didn't do it didn't move any meters at all. So hopefully having a healthy Dak Prescott for the entirety of the season, along with the sound protection that he needs, can really do numbers in Dallas.
Let's get to the Jets here on Tuesday. They will open OTAs for the first time with Justin Fields as the starting quarterback. How do you see him integrating with the Jets scheme?
Well, with Justin Fields in the lineup, Jordan, he's another playmaker for the offense because of his versatility, his athleticism, the speed that he has as a +1 in the running game actually could help the Jets. Remember, the last two seasons, especially a year ago with the healthy Aaron Rodgers, they had no +1 option at the quarterback position because, of course, Aaron Rodgers is a pocket guy. But when you look at Justin Fields and seeing what he did in that 6-game stretch with the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially in the red zone, he became a +1 in the running game, either improvising on the fly or quarterback design runs. He was an added element to their offense, and hopefully the Jets have the same mindset for Justin Fields, knowing what type of playmaker he can be, not just throwing the football, Jordan, but of course running the football.
Yeah, and they get him a big weapon. As we know, tight end was a pressing need for the Jets this offseason. They managed to get one of the best ones in the NFL draft, and Mason Taylor. Do you think he's the perfect fit?